Welcome, Spanish learners, another episode of the Spanish Code Podcast. I am Christian Robinson. With me, as always, Nelfer, the profesor. And today, we are going to focus on the easiest past tense in the Spanish language. It is called, ¿cómo se llama, Nelfer?
El pretérito perfecto.
Pretérito perfecto. That sounds like a big, long grammatical term, so forget that. The reason why I say this is the easiest past tense in Spanish is because we have the exact same past tense in English. Oh, what a relief, right? So in English, we can say, I ate, I used to eat, or I have eaten shrimp before, right? I have eaten shrimp a lot. I have. This is the past tense that we're focusing on. Just think of it as the have past tense. It's when we use the verb have in English, like I have $10. We use that same verb in English to make a past tense. Now in Spanish, the verb changes. It isn't tengo. It is the verb haber, but it's used exactly the same way. So let's review from last time. We have the verb haber in the present tense, actually. It actually makes sense if you think I have eaten. I'm stating it in the present tense. All right. Our conjugation for haber, very irregular, but very easy. You guys should say this out loud again and again and again. Has, hemos, han, right? In English, we always form this with the participio, all right? Now that is when I say, I have eaten, I have been. In English, it's really irregular. In Spanish, it's really easy, the conjugation, all right? We take off the AR or the ER and we add ado for AR verbs or ido for ER-IR verbs. So, yo he trabajado. How eat, comer, ido. Yo he comido. Nelfer, talk a little bit about the past perfect, as I like to call it.
Something really important that we can set in our brains is that we have the same past tense in English, yes, but it is called present perfect. Why do we call it present perfect in English? Because the conjugation of the main verb, which is to have, is in present. I have, you have, he has, right? But for us in Spanish, we call it a past. It doesn't matter the name. You don't need to struggle with that. Just remember that anytime you think about I have done something, you're not going to be using tengo. You're going to be using e. Only e. Don't say that h. It's only a sound like this. E and then the past participle that we were covering in the last podcast and that you can go and check because we did this. We did the haber and the past participle. We covered all that. Remember also to like and subscribe. Leave your comments, your question. If you're struggling with this, we will do another video explaining a little bit more if you need it, right? So every time you think I have done something, I have eaten, spoken, written, you're going to be using ado, ido words. ADO or IDO depending on the ending of the verb. If it's AR, we say ado, like trabajado. We're never gonna use this word by itself. We're never gonna say yo trabajado or trabajado alone. We need an auxiliary verb, which is he trabajado, I have worked. And if you have an ER or IR verb, you're gonna say ido, like aprender is an ER verb, aprendido. So we have learned, hemos aprendido. And let's go through all of them. He trabajado, I have worked. Has hablado, you have spoken. Ha bailado, he has or she has danced. Also, it has. If you want to say, it's been nice. Ha sido bueno, ha sido agradable. Hemos aprendido, we have learned. Han ido, you guys have gone. And they have eaten. Ellos han comido. All right?
Muy bien. So I guess technically, if you had to navigate the entire world and in using the past tense, no matter what the country, you could get away with only using the past perfect. Now, why is that not a good idea? Because you're not going to understand what other people are saying when they actually speak correctly and use the other past tenses. But it is a very useful past tense. It is a very correct past tense, and it exists in your brain exactly as it does in Spanish. How have you been? ¿Cómo has estado? estar, right? We take off the AR. ¿Cómo has estado? Ah, super. Yo he estado super bien. ¿Y tú?
Yeah, there are two ways to realize how to use this tense. We already did that simple past, comí, comiste, right? I did this. And if you want to learn like, when to use the present or past perfect, whatever they want to call it, how to use this one, you have one option first. Every time I think I'm going to say I have done something, I'm going to say because it works exactly the same way. Right? Or we can go through all the uses that you can apply with this. We can use the past, el pasado perfecto, to express experiences. Let's say you go to an interview here in Colombia and you need to speak Spanish. They are going to ask you about what you have done. And then you're going to be like, he trabajado en Estados Unidos. I have worked. I have done this. I have studied. Everything that you have done from the past until now. That's the keyword of the perfect tense. Hasta ahora, so far, I've been doing this. I've done this, right? Él ha viajado mucho en su vida. He has traveled a lot in his entire life, right?
Right. There's really no other past tense. You could say, he traveled a lot in life. It kind of sounds weird. Yeah. He used to travel a lot in life. But if I say he has traveled a lot, it's a different kind of past tense. I'm explaining what he has done with repetition, but it doesn't mean that he's done traveling. And so we use this very specifically in English. And I love to teach this because it is sort of like the past tense of conversations in the sense that you ask a lot of questions with this. With the time marker, for example, alguna vez, have you ever? That's how we're going to say, have you ever gone to Spain, for example? Alguna vez has ido a España? Ah, super, right? ¿Alguna vez has comido mariscos? Have you ever eaten shrimp? ¿Alguna vez te has saltado de un avión? ¿Alguna vez have you thrown yourself out of an airplane? Ah, okay.
So basically, yeah, all that when you ask like alguna vez, you're asking about the experience. Have you done this, right? Then we can use it to something that happened in the past, but it still has consequences in the present, right? Like I've done this and I'm still thinking about it and I can still do it, right? Something like I have lost my computer. He perdido mi computador. What's the consequence in the present? Now I can work. He perdido mi computador. Something has happened and it affects me now, right? It's from the past until the present, right? That's why we call it past, and in English they call it present perfect.
Right, like I've been to Spain 3 times, right? So yo he estado en España 3 veces. Okay, what am I actually saying? If I use the other past tense, the only way I could say is I was in Spain 3 times. I used to be in Spain 3 times. No, that doesn't really sound right because when I say I've been in Spain 3 times, it's a continuing story. It's not like I'm never going to go back. I might go back. And this tense allows you to express those kinds of thoughts that have a consequence in the present, but also maybe they're going to continue in the future.
Exactly. And then we have something that hasn't happened yet. Have you played the Never Have I Ever game? Well, in Espanol, we use this tense to play that game. Nunca he. Yo nunca he. I've never have I ever. And then we say like things like, tú no has conocido a mi esposa aún. You haven't met my wife yet. You shouldn't. I don't want you to.
Yeah, like I could ask if Nelfer's ever done something. So if he's never done it, he would probably answer in this tense too, like, okay.
Yeah, we need to check the irregulars. We did it in the last podcast, but it's important to review, we need the irregular verbs here as well. So you need to remember the irregulars as well because you're going to use those in the present perfect. For example, hacer, if I want to say done, I have done something, it would be hecho.
Super important, guys, hacer, because we say, what are you doing, right? Que haces. That's the same verb. So you're going to hear this a lot when you're on the street in Mexico. Hey, amigo, ¿qué has hecho? What have you done? It kind of sounds weird, but it's like, what have you been doing? That's how we ask it, ¿qué has hecho? It's like one of the most common hellos in Spanish.
Yeah, then we have decir, dicho.
I've told you this 1,000 times. That have te he dicho eso 1000 veces y güey pucha.
Ver, visto.
Have you ever seen Titanic? ¿Alguna vez has visto la película Titanic? Okay.
Escribir, then, escrito. No escribido, escrito.
Escrito. So yeah, I've written him every day for the last week and he still hasn't gotten back to me. That entire thought is in this tense. Lo he escrito 10 veces esa semana y aún no me ha devuelto una respuesta. All right, so I used it in my sentence and his sentence. He still has not written me back.
Yeah. Volver, vuelto, poner, puesto, abrir, to open, abierto, cubrir, to cover, cubierto. Roto, for romper, I have broken something, he roto. And morir, muerto. Muy bien.
Me has roto mi corazón. You've broken my heart.
And there you go. It's the same chart we did before with the irregulars, but now with the regulars. Remember, these are the important irregulars. We have a few more, but if you remember these, you're going to be able to navigate. We're going to put them up, by the way, in the PDF below.
Yeah, just since we have this up here, guys, your pronunciation with aber, you're never going to hear that H, okay? So if you need to right now, write these all down and write down your pronunciation guide, all right?
Yeah.
A, almost like A, man. Us. I'm not hearing that H. Us. Amos. On. All right? You got to say it right. It has to exist in your brain right if you're ever going to hear it right. And you're going to hear this a lot having those conversations with locals when you're on your travels.
Okay. And it's really important to remember how to create like affirmative sentences. I've done this, you've done that, but remember, every time you're learning a new tense, a new conjugation, you need to practice this. Affirmative sentence, negative sentence, and how to ask questions. So practice this way too. You can say what you've done today, like hoy he estudiado el pasado perfecto. Today I have studied the present perfect, the past perfect. But if you're gonna say the negative version of it, you put the no in front of the conjugated verb, right? No la hemos visitado aún. We haven't visited her yet, right? And for the questions, if you want to say, have you, it would be us. We don't change the structure. We don't switch anything in Spanish. That's why we have this little guy, the opening question mark. It's the same sentence, but with the little inflection in the voice. ¿Has escuchado la nueva canción? What's the meaning of that?
Have you heard, escuchar, has escuchado la nueva canción? Have you heard the new song?
Okay.
Right? So maybe we're talking about your favorite band.
And if you want to practice a little bit more with the questions, you can do our algorithm, our cool algorithm that we always cover in every single new conjugation, right? We have the question word, the question like pronoun que. And then for the present perfect, we're going to use has, which means have you. So what have you? ¿Qué has? And then I need to use it again, my past participle. For example, leído. What have you read?
Sí.
¿Qué has leído?
Esos días.
¿Dónde has leído ese libro? Where have you read that book? ¿Cuándo has leído? ¿Por qué has leído ese libro? Right? And then you can change the verb, the past participle. ¿Qué has comido? What have you eaten? ¿Qué has estudiado? What have you studied? He estudiado español, right? ¿Qué has practicado? ¿Qué has visto? ¿Qué has aprendido hoy?
So maybe we could just like have a little slow conversation, Nelfer and I, just using this tense, all right? Now we'll try to put the words on the screen so you have a translation guide, but it's amazing how useful this is. Okay, so I'm getting to know Nelfer. And I'm going to use this tense to ask him a lot of questions. So, ¿alguna vez has ido a Perú?
Sí, he visitado Machu Picchu.
¿En serio?
Sí.
Yo no sabía.
Y quiero volver.
Okay. ¿Y por qué no has ido a Brasil? Why haven't you gone to Brazil?
No he ido a Brasil porque no he aprendido portugués.
Yo no he ido a Brasil porque no he tenido la plata. I haven't had the money to travel. No, I'm gonna use alguna vez.
Yeah.
Has viajado al norte? Have you ever traveled up north?
He viajado a México. He vivido en México por unos meses y he visitado, sí, Panamá.
¿Has conocido muchas mujeres mexicanas?
No he conocido muchas mujeres mexicanas.
Esa muchacha Lupita que tenía el bigote, la exnovia tuya, ¿sí o no?
Sí, la he extrañado mucho.
Okay. So, yo he extrañado a mi familia. I've missed my family. Okay. Right? We can go on for days with this tense.
Yeah.
But there's one other really important thing that we have to get to here is, okay, one of the most powerful tools in Spanish is the progressive, the ing, right? Estoy trabajando. Estuve trabajando. Estaba trabajando. All right? So that ando, just keeps coming out in different times. So think about this thought. I have been thinking. He estado pensando. The progressive, hugely important with this, right? So if I want to say, hey man, what have you been doing? ¿Qué has estado haciendo? ¿Qué haces? ¿Qué has hecho? ¿Qué has estado haciendo? Es como un rap.
We've been explaining this rule so many times, but it's important to say it and to remember that every time you conjugate the verb estar, you're allowed to use any ing in español. Ando, yendo. Like he said, estoy, and then you can say comiendo. Estoy comiendo is perfect. I'm eating. Estuve, I was. So eating is gonna be the same all the time. We only replace the conjugation of the main verb. When it comes to the present perfect, now we have three verbs because for creating the present perfect, we need the auxiliary and the past participle. I have been. What's been? Estar. We remove the AR, we put ado. He estado. I have been. And then we can say comiendo.
Right.
I have been eating.
So let's add an adverb here, adjective in my head, but adverb healthily. All right. Estoy comiendo sanamente. I am eating healthily. Right. And then I can put that in the total past tense. So it's over now. Estuve, I was eating healthily. That means that maybe I'm not now. Right. So estuve comiendo sanamente. But in this tense, he estado comiendo sanamente. What does that mean? It's totally different. It's something that I started in the past and it's still going on today. It's still affecting me today. He estado comiendo sanamente.
Yeah, and you need to think how many times you use this tense in English. It's really, really, really common to say, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. And then you can do it in Spanish with more verbs. He estado estudiando español. I've been studying Spanish for 3 months with this podcast, right? He estado bebiendo mucho. I've been drinking a lot. I should stop. He estado bailando salsa los últimos fines de semana. I've been dancing salsa the last weekends. He estado trabajando demasiado. Right? So every time you learn a new conjugation, you can do it without us explaining you. Use estar and then use the ing, which you already know, because it's really easy, right?
Right, guys. Okay. All roads lead back to Sarah and a star, right? We're going to use a star so much more. In this tense, we're not going to use sido very often, except for when we give a description about something. Like, it has been nice. Ha sido genial. It's been amazing. Ha sido, it has been. Not with ha estado. Ha sido, to give the description of how it has been. Creo que hemos cubierto muy bien el tema. What did I say? I think that we have covered well the topic. Excellent. All right, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe. We need your likes. We need your subscriptions to the channel, and leave us comments in the comment box below. And we'll make sure that we address those when we can. All right. We'll see you guys very soon for the next episode of the Spanish Code. Ciao, ciao.
Nos vemos.
Nos vemos.